Hi, I'm Shaka Hislop, and you're here at Extra Time TV.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Extra Time TV. This is Andre Soklal, and this is a hastily put together stream, but we're going to talk about some news that a lot of my viewers have been asking me to talk about. So we usually do our EXTV live, but we're going to have to talk about this. It's not exactly breaking news, but everybody's going to talk about it because Cristiano Ronaldo is involved. So for those of you who don't know, there was a potential situation where Cristiano Ronaldo could have missed the two opening games of the 2026 World Cup. He got a red card against the game against Ireland. I'll give you a little bit of details here. Ronaldo was shown his marching orders for violent conduct in the 61st minute after elbowing Ireland defender Darren O'Shea away from the ball. After an initial yellow card, the referee was urged to review, and the incident on the pitside monitored by the video assistant referee and upgraded the decision to a red card. It marked Ronaldo's first red card, which we'll get to later, for Portugal in what has been his 226th appearance, a record in men's international football. He has been sent off 13 times at club level. So, initially, a lot of people were concerned because they played one game, I think it's against Macedonia afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. And, that would have taken away one of the three games, which is usually standard for violent conduct. And, everybody was talking about that, the potential of Cristiano Ronaldo missing out. There's a lot of controversy about Cristiano Ronaldo, missing out that FIFA picture. And, the conspiracy theorists are starting to talk about it. But for my friends out there, this is a very divisive debate. And, before I start, I want to preface this by saying and address the elephant in the room. I should have put a sound effect for this. I am unapologetically an Argentina and Lionel Messi fan, right? But unfortunately, there are people out there that can't have discussions about both players. And, just to give you a little background into me, just to show you this, people don't know this. And you might think I'm saying this. You could choose to believe me whether or not. I'm seeing people joining in the stream. Welcome, Romario. Welcome. I'll answer a few live questions afterwards and we can have a discussion because it's a very interesting topic and I could see both sides of this. I could see both sides of the story. There's a Cristiano Ronaldo fans, but I want to preface this because the elephant in the room is that everybody knows I'm an Argentina fan and I'm a Messi fan. So I just want to get that out of the way. I like both players and I can have a discussion that's level-headed about both players. They are both great players. When Cristiano Ronaldo first came out, when he left Sporting and went to Manchester United, I was one of the first guys that said this guy's a top player, where some now Cristiano Ronaldo fans were arguing with me at the time and saying he was a crap and a one-season wonder. Euro 2004. Long before I was doing this, I told people that Portugal team was one of my favorites, which included Rui Costa and Luis Figo and these guys. And it's okay and it's my rights, I like Lionel Messi. So I want to get that out of the way because I know a lot of people would have brought that up in these discussions. I'm going to show you all we could have an impartial discussion. But let's get to the news here now. So a lot of people were concerned that Cristiano Ronaldo was going to miss that first game. First three games in the group stage. And then he had to play one more game afterwards. So FIFA, which I can't seem to find any official statement from this site, it's usually quote from other sites, have stated that that's no longer the case. That's no longer the case. And I'm going to pull up some quotes here. I didn't have time to pull up all the graphics and so on. But, I'll give you some stuff from BBC and so on. So I'm going to pull it up here. So Cristiano Ronaldo is set to avoid a ban for the start of Portugal's World Cup campaign. Now, this decision has drawn a lot of reactions from people on social media. People are going nuts. People asking my opinion. Some people are saying it's absolutely insane that now he can play. Are there different rules for players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi? And then what about the other players that were red carded? Are they could now argue the case and say, hey, listen, I got a red card. How about we get rid of my red card? Is it a rule just for Cristiano Ronaldo? Or, what's the deal? And these are all valid questions, and I'd like to hear both sides of it, folks. If there's any Cristiano Ronaldo fans and, people in there who have a lot of sense and, could have a discussion, you'll need to do that. So the cynics were saying, it's a conspiracy, and they were trying to ban him. I've been reading all the reactions, but this is from BBC. So let me continue, and then we'll get to the discussion part. So this is from BBC because I've searched all over. I usually put a quote on screen. Where FIFA usually does a bit of a quote release and they say everything. So it's just BBC quoting FIFA. So FIFA disciplinary committee has imposed a 3-match ban, but the final 2 games are suspended for 1 year, provided there is no similar infringement during the probation period. So I'll go on and I'll give you my opinion afterwards, and it will be my honest opinion. Ronaldo was shown a red card after appearing to swing an elbow at Ireland defender Darren O'Shea. I saw the game and it was deserved. A World Cup qualifier earlier this month. Congratulations to the Irish, by the way. I love the Irish. He has already served the 1-match suspension in Portugal's final qualifier against Armenia. So I was correct about that. So he served 1, so it was down to 2 matches. So, everybody was saying he was going to miss 2 matches for the group stage until now. So, should Ronaldo commit another offense of a similar nature, the 2 matches will be automatically activated for the next official matches for the Portugal national team, which are set to be the opening 2 World Cup group games. So, once again, I'm reading everything first. A FIFA statement said, in line with the Article 27 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the serving of the 2 remaining matches has been suspended under a 1-year probation period, this is where it starts to get weird, folks. If Cristiano Ronaldo commits another infringement of a similar nature and gravity during the probationary period, the suspension set out in the disciplinary decision shall be deemed automatically revoked, and the remaining 2 matches must be served immediately at next official matches of the Portuguese representative team. This is with all prejudice to any additional sanctions imposed to the new infringement. The 3-match suspension is subject to appeal of the FIFA Appeal Committee. So I'm not going to read out the entire thing. But this is from BBC. I've seen a lot of reactions from the British media and media all around the world. And, there are guys, this is where it gets emotional. And people get very emotional about the discussion. Like I said, there's Cristiano Ronaldo fanboys. There are Messi fanboys. But I want to show that we can have a discussion here without the emotion involved. But I'd love to hear both sides, everybody's opinions. I'd really love to hear that. So I'm going to continue by saying, this was, usually I do an entire episode of EXTV live, but this topic I have a feeling is going to be very divisive. So I'm going to talk about all the facts, and then if anybody wants to throw in questions or whatever, I could answer a couple questions. So a lot of people are not happy with this. A lot of people are already putting on the conspiracy hats and saying, hey, FIFA is kind of giving Ronaldo different rules because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, and players like him and Messi get different rules. And what about the other players who have red cards? So, of course, one example that they brought up was Otamendi and somebody else. Otamendi happens to be Argentine, I know that. But they're saying, okay, if Cristiano Ronaldo gets that probationary thing, then now all these players can now come out and say, hey, I think I should get that probationary period. And then it starts to open a whole can of worms, because now, are people going to say, hey, are FIFA now going to change the rules? Because, in the World Cup, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at certain stages in the World Cup, I think once you get past the quarterfinals, all your yellow cards and red cards are wiped. And you can continue, I think. Well, at least your offenses. I can't remember the exact rule. So, is it starting a precedence where, hey, now everybody's going to start appealing everything? And let's say they do pass that rule. And they say, okay, we're going to wipe everything. It opens a whole different sort of scenario, because now if a player in the last game of qualifying decides to intentionally injure another player, let's say breaks his leg or something, he doesn't go to the World Cup, he gets a red card, he can say, hey, well, listen, I should be in a probationary period. So it's a very dangerous and slippery slope. And like I said before, people cannot have a non-emotional discussion about anything with Ronaldo or Messi, and that's why we're going to try to do this differently today. There is a lot of bias from both fan bases, to the point where it's ridiculous, and I know I'm dancing on that ice territory when we're talking about this, and that's why I addressed at the beginning of the video, even though I am an unapologetic Argentina and Messi fan, I'm going to give this a fair discussion. And I'm like I said, I'm going to read everybody's thoughts in there, but we're going to look at it from both sides. So from Cristiano Ronaldo's perspective, and I'm going to go back up a little bit here, it was mentioned, where is it? This was his first red card ever for the national team. And that was taken into consideration for why he was given that. And then also, they're saying if he does anything of that nature between now and the World Cup, it would automatically activate the 2-match ban. Now, of course, Ronaldo's not an idiot. He's not going to do anything stupid. I think he's going to behave himself. They're already qualified. There's no need for that. And, you know, I think it's a bit of a strange thing. And, you know, listen, whether you're a Cristiano Ronaldo fan or not, any player that does a tackle like that, it's mandatory a three-match ban. There are players, many players got 8. You know, lots of players. It's not just a Cristiano Ronaldo thing. So I understand FIFA. Obviously, these guys are highly marketable guys. Cristiano Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of branding and so on. And this is where FIFA makes themselves look really bad because, folks, this is not a bias. This is FIFA making fun of their own rules. Because then, at this point forward, players that are not Cristiano Ronaldo are going to now argue every decision. They're going to say, hey, listen, you know, I'm going to get a red card, but hey, you know, maybe I should have a probationary period. You know, that starts a dangerous precedence. So on one hand, I could see, okay, FIFA from the business side, which they're all about money, you know, they're probably going to think about, hey, we need to get Cristiano Ronaldo in there. There's no way we can't have one of the biggest brands in the world not at the World Cup. From a business perspective. I'm sure Portugal fans as well and Ronaldo fans will agree. It's the same like if it was for Messi. I'm pretty sure Argentinian fans would be extremely upset if Lionel Messi was going to miss the group stage. And so, like I said, I can see both sides. I could definitely see both sides. But I want people to understand, if you take the biases outside from both players, this is a really questionable decision. Because now, as I said multiple times in the video, every player is now going to question every red card. Heading into the World Cup, all those players that have red cards right now is going to come on FIFA. And now FIFA is going to have to justify to each one of those players why they don't choose it. And if I read correctly, the FIFA disciplinary committee is independent of, which is crazy, of FIFA within their own organization. So they have their own discussions. And it sets a dangerous pathway. It really does, folks. Whether you're a Ronaldo fan or not, it is. I would be saying the same thing if it was Lionel Messi as well. If Lionel Messi did a foul like that and he got a call, I'm speaking for myself, not other Messi fans, that I think it would have been unfair. If you understand what I'm saying. So, you know, from a realistic perspective, you know, FIFA wants their guy, their Cristiano Ronaldo. And I really think it's a bad decision on FIFA's part. You set rules and you have to enforce them. And now you're saying, which questions, you know, FIFA's credibility, which has always been in question for a long time. You know, are they serious about their own rules? And do they shift the goalposts, as we say in Trinidad and Tobago and other countries, to adjust to certain players? Is that the scenario? And, you know, what was the logic and thought process? Because they're saying he had generally a very good record. Which is fine. That's admirable. That's his first red card for his national team. But does it excuse it? I mean, to me, that's like saying, you know, hey, I just physically attacked someone, but it's the first time I did it. So, you know, hey. Now, I understand the thought process of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. But I saw the game. I saw the frustration. And you have to set the rules. This guy is a role model. And I'm not saying it because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And that's very scary, folks. And like I said, Cristiano Ronaldo fans, if there are any in there right now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm seeing lots of comments flying in. And I'll get to those. I will get to those in a short while. But I'm going to go into a bit more detail here. I'm going to keep this short. It's enough for an entire episode. So, you know, just to go back against Ireland, you know, because some people didn't see the game. FIFA initially issued a 3-match ban. So those of you who didn't see the game and probably saying, hey, why are we picking on Cristiano Ronaldo? We're not. They were losing, of course. So FIFA initially did a 3-match ban. What's the name of the guy? I can't remember his name right now. What's his name? What's the name of the guy who got elbowed? Dara O'Shea. You know, Portugal lost 2-0. They still eventually got to the World Cup in the end. And I'm just going to summarize the facts here. So they initially did the 3-match ban, if you're just joining us. The fans were panicking because they're thinking, you know, this is his last dance and whatever. And, you know, the media headlines are already saying, you know, Ronaldo's pretty much going to miss the group stage, which, you know, everybody was panicking because that's what people do sometimes. So, I tried to make some notes in really quickly to summarize. I won't ramble too much. So, this was the reasoning why FIFA reduced the ban. This is their reasoning in a summarized point form. So it was deferred, it's in point form here I have it, deferred suspension for under 12 months instead of just a straight up ban, a probationary period. Ronaldo effectively only serves 1 match which is already done. So, he basically is the one match he was supposed to serve is done. And now, once he behaves himself, within the next year, nothing is going to happen. So, I mean, he could behave himself and then punch somebody in the face afterwards. Because, it's his last World Cup, supposedly. They also said one of the key factors, his clean disciplinary record was a major factor. His first ever red card in 226 international games. So whether you like Ronaldo or not, that's very impressive. Very, very impressive to not get a red card for so long. But, that's one of the reasons. No violent conduct or risk behavior according to the review panel. This is FIFA, not me. FIFA disciplinary code article on probationary suspension allows disciplinary bodies to reduce or defer punishments based on conduct, history, and proportionality. So those are the main components that FIFA used to make that decision. So I'm going to summarize it again. This is FIFA and the reason why they did what they did. And like I said in the live stream, folks, let me know what you think. By the way, I'm also very close to my 3,000 subscribers. So, like I said, before I continue, be sure to like, subscribe, and scan the QR code up there to support our merch. Head over to extvmedia.com. Follow us on all these socials and so on. We have a lot of other content. We do this every week. And we'll, continue to support us. And, of course, there's memberships and so on for those of you who want to support and donate to the channel. Back to this thing now. So, to summarize, there is a deferred suspension under a 12-month probation. So, basically, in its next 12-month arena, Ronaldo has to behave himself. Ronaldo effectively only serves one match, which he already did. He also had a clean disciplinary record. First red card in 226 games. No violent conduct or risk behavior, according to the review panel. And FIFA, according to their disciplinary article, said, these are the criteria, allows disciplinary bodies to reduce or defer punishments based on conduct, history, and proportionality. So, now that we know all the facts, because we only deal with facts here, folks, that's FIFA's rationale for how they made that decision. What do you think? Like I said, I did all basically the pros for Cristiano Ronaldo and why, I could see both sides where from a marketing perspective, his disciplinary record in the past, at least for the national team, and, just generally, he had no history of that sort of violent conduct. At club level, he did, for sure. But, at least Portugal's level, no. So that was the reasons they used. Now, for me, this is my opinion. My personal opinion. In fact, before I get to my opinion, let's do this. So I tried to find the official release from FIFA, and I could only get it from quotes from BBC, and I only work with established, verified sources. BBC, SofaScore, ESPN, shout out to Shaka and those guys to get my information. So the official statement summarized, Cristiano Ronaldo will not face a World Cup ban. The disciplinary committee determined that remaining matches will be suspended under a 1-year probation period. So I said all this already, but just for you all to understand how we're paying attention to this, he remains eligible for the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifying fixtures. The player's disciplinary record was taken into account, which we mentioned already. So this was pulled from ESPN and Independent and BBC and so on. And this is where now I want to get everybody's opinion on this. My opinion, and you all could let me know in the live chat as well what you think. I personally think the decision is a disgrace. It's an absolute embarrassment of a decision. Because even though we mentioned all those factors, the elephant in the room, as I mentioned, is that no matter who he is, they are showing now, hey, listen, we need this guy here because Ronaldo is going to bring in fans. And make no mistake, folks, he's a global icon. He is the best, along Lionel Messi. These two guys are literally one-man branding machines. These guys are just, their presence elevates. That's why Saudi Arabia forked out the money for the guy. Whether you like him or not, he's a brand. Messi is a brand. Those two guys, there's nobody close to those two guys in terms of branding. Forget the football skills in terms of branding. And clearly, it comes off here, how they try to spin it, that there are different rules being applied to Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's a very clever legal way of making fun of their own rules. Because now, as I said before in the video, every time somebody does a red card, every time somebody does a violent tackle, every time somebody bites someone, I saw someone in chat mention Luis Suarez or something ridiculous, they can now argue and put their hands up and say, hey, you guys need to look, And then also, based on previous records, I remember Patrick Vieira, for those of you who go as far back, he was known for getting a lot of red cards at international level. And his reputation, sometimes he would get a lot of unfair red cards because of the reputation he had. I've saw a lot of other players getting red cards simply because that person had a track record before. And I always believe, yes, you should take that into account. Repeat offenses and so on, especially with racism, violent conduct, and things like that. But something like this, it's very difficult if you're not a Portugal fan right now, or to really take FIFA seriously. And for those of you who have been watching football for a long time like myself, I have lots of criticisms about how FIFA do things, especially there's always inconsistencies with how they do things. To me, it sends a horrible message, and there's a lot of players out there who have red cards, and Otamendi is one of them. He's supposed to miss the first game for Argentina, and a couple other players as well. If there's any out there, you all could let me know what you think about that. What you think about Cristiano Ronaldo, his situation and whatever. And, lately in the last couple of weeks, he has made a lot of headlines. Everybody, he has been very, very adamant and vocal about how he doesn't see the World Cup as that's no longer his dream. And it's just a 7-game tournament. And Piers Morgan, I call him a massive enabler of Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think he's even an actual fan. I think Ronaldo is just for him to get views and clicks. Because I have boatloads of screenshots of Piers Morgan saying Lionel Messi is the best. I think he just decided, okay, Cristiano Ronaldo is a gold mine, and I'm gonna back this guy, and he's gonna be on my show. I'm gonna get a lot of views. But I mean, he has been making headlines. Not that it has anything to do with this, but he has been coming off as a bit of a toddler throwing his toys at the pram the last couple of weeks. Throwing tantrums. Messi gets criticism as well, and it's inevitable. I hate to do this, but the comparison of both players. But there are situations where he would get booed in the Saudi League and he would get angry, he would get frustrated, he would make offensive gestures towards the crowd. And that's part of the game. I'm not actually really that mad about that because football is just part of the game. But, the statements he's been making, trying to discredit the World Cup, any tournament that he doesn't win is no longer important. When he was not winning the Ballon d'Or, it was crap. It was all about the Golden Boot. Then when he won the Ballon d'Or, all of a sudden it's valuable. And I'm pretty sure if he wins the World Cup, you'll hear a different story. And it's unfortunately, it seems as if, it comes off as sour grapes. And, the hypocrisy of it from FIFA and even some of the fans, a lot of them, their entire basis for trying to downplay what Lionel Messi did was that the World Cup was rigged. And, Messi's FIFA's baby, although I don't know where FIFA was from, 2006 to 2018 when they lost all those finals. But, like I said, I want to hear what you're all saying in the live stream. I know there's a lot of people in here. I'm going to address your questions in a little while. I'm not going to do this longer than 30 minutes. But I would like to hear your thoughts, comments, and suggestions in the live chat, and I'll read them out. And when you do that, you automatically qualify for a prize, folks. So, like I said, this is fully live. So I really want to hear everybody else. People. I know there's people who have both sides of this, and I would like to hear your opinions on this. And what I do is, like I said with the previous EXTV lives, after I lay down all the facts to everybody else in here, I really love to hear your thoughts. Some people are pro Cristiano Ronaldo. They're saying, hey, listen, it's not a good World Cup without Cristiano Ronaldo. He needs to be there just like Messi and all the others. But then the other side is, are there separate rules for Cristiano Ronaldo? Are we wearing our fanboy sunglasses to overlook the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo is getting special treatment? Do you think he's getting special treatment or he's not getting special treatment? What if it was Lionel Messi? So I will put myself in the firing line here. Whether you believe me or not, that's entirely up to you all. But if Lionel Messi did something like that and he got a justified red card, I would have been very embarrassed to come on here and say he deserved if he got that. If FIFA allowed him to play. I would have said so. And I've said it before in situations where there's cases where, situations with players I like, but unfortunately, it is what it is. I think it sets a horrible precedent. It makes FIFA look really dumb. They have set rules for a reason. And if players see this now, they're going to be like, okay, well, if you did it for Cristiano Ronaldo, why not me? And there's no escaping that narrative. Whether you like Ronaldo or Messi or not, that is going to be the narrative. There's no escape. So I'm going to end this off. That's my personal opinion. I think it's an absolute disgrace by FIFA. I think they make a mockery of themselves and the rules, which they do all the time. And, personally, I think it no matter how much you spin it, all those reasons they mentioned there don't really justify their own rules. They are actually contradicting their own rules. Now, they have clauses in there which we mentioned that they can appeal, and which is fine. Which is fine. I could see both sides, but my opinion, which I'm entitled to, is I think that it's ridiculous. And I don't care if it's Ronaldo or Lionel Messi or, some guy from the third division. There are lots of players right now who will now be sending their appeals to FIFA because they have red cards and they're not supposed to play. And what is FIFA going to tell those guys and girls when they have to enter international tournaments? I mean, the whole 1 year probation. Ronaldo is not an idiot. He's not going to do anything stupid in the World Cup. And like I said, there was a narrative building up. The us against me narrative was being pushed. This is not me, folks. This is what I saw on PS Morgan. So you could look at the video and you could tell me your thoughts. He's saying that the World Cup is not important. It's not his dream, although he contradicted himself. He's constantly making, jibes about tournaments. If he doesn't win something, it's no longer important. And, he's even saying that La Liga, EPL, I don't think he said EPL, but he's saying, the Saudi Arabian League, it's more difficult to score there than it was in La Liga. And saying it's better than Liga. I know a lot of people like to make fun of the French league, but it's a tough league. They produce great players. I am not a huge fan of the French league, but I could put aside my fanboy bias to say that the French league is a strong league. It's a very physical league. They produce a lot of players. There's a reason why France has a lot of great players. And, Liga, La Liga, Serie A, EPL, they all have their fans and different opinions. But, it was just crazy things. And it comes off very sour grapes. So we're approaching the 27-minute here, folks. I'm gonna read some of the comments I'm seeing here. So let's read a couple comments for a couple minutes. So Roblox Gamerboy 3632. Cristiano Ronaldo is the best goal scorer, but Messi is the best player in the world. Messi dictate the game, drop deep the field, give assists like a perfect midfielder. Correct. That's how I would describe him as well. That's my opinion. I think he's the best. And if people don't think so, that's okay. That is okay, and that's the point I'm trying to make, folks. But I want folks in the live stream right now, and even if you're not live and you comment later on, when you do that, you automatically qualify for a chance to win prizes, a jersey of your choice. You could scan the QR code up there. It takes you to our EXTV merch store where you could support us by purchasing merch. Some goes to us and some goes towards a charity, and I will be posting every charity that goes up. And also, you can now join the membership, make donations, and so on. But also, I think we're about 15 subscribers away from 3,000, folks. So everybody who's in here, click that subscribe button. So you're not just subscribing for the sake of subscribing. You're getting some perks, folks. Some perks. And also head over to extvmedia.com where we don't just have news, we have opinions. And I'll be doing a write-up about this soon on extvmedia.com, so you can check that out and follow us on all these socials. So, Romario, listen, I love Romario Patrice. He's a very talented, ambitious filmmaker from Trinidad and Tobago. He's done really well recently, always entering competitions and doing well, getting a lot of recognition. I personally really love his content. You could check him out. So, Romario, welcome to the live stream. And Romario, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this call about Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and everybody else in here. So I'm going to go up. Romario Patrice, it's the ultimate trophy. I'm guessing you're talking about when he said the World Cup. So yes, it is. It is. Some people disagree, which is crazy, because the criteria they used before Messi won anything was that he was not good because he didn't win the World Cup. And apparently, as soon as he wins something, it's no longer an important trophy anymore. Apparently. Roblox Gamerboy. I like that name, by the way. Roblox Gamerboy 3632. Messi is a better player. So clearly Roblox is a Messi fan. I want to hear the Cristiano Ronaldo fans as well. And I'm pretty sure maybe after the stream goes up, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate comments. But I want you all to see how impartial I'm trying to be. Romario, you can't be the greatest player if you have never won a World Cup. That's what Shaka Hislop said. Let's see. There's a lot of comments here. Rods, that's it. Its precedent is set. Rods, I agree. I think they set a dangerous tone here. Roblox, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a marvelous bicycle kick just the other day at the age of 40. That's brilliant. Get more, welcome, Get more, another loyal supporter. Get more, let me know what you think. What do you think about this? Do you think it's fair that Cristiano Ronaldo ban was his World Cup ban was adjusted? He's now able to play in the World Cup and he has this 1 year. Let me know what you think. I'm seeing people talking about the World Cup draw. Harrison Wells, welcome. Man like Messi did a chokehold on someone in his history and never got a yellow for it, much less a 3-match ban. I think I remember what you were talking about, and Messi definitely got, in his first game, Messi got a straight red card, which was, I'm saying, I'm not a Messi fanboy, but if you look back, Messi did get a lot of unfair, ridiculous calls for Argentina. His first game ever for the senior team, he got a straight red, which was absolutely ridiculous. The chokehold on someone in history, I never got a yellow. He did get a lot of bans. Messi got a lot of bans, folks. So just to verify that, Harrison Wells. But I understand what you're trying to say, though. Romario Patrice, these CR7 fangirls and CR7. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. So Romario, they know it's his last, so they made up some BS to allow him to play. That's what a lot of people are saying. And like I said, I want to hear both sides of the story. Because a lot of people, especially, the crazy fans, they keep talking about Messi. We're not talking about Messi. We're talking about Ronaldo now. What do you think about the call? Do you think it's fair? And I'm guessing some of you think it's fair. Harrison, well, speaking of precedent, man like Luis Suarez should be banned from football for life after spitting on guys in the MLS given his history of behavior. And I agree. Luis Suarez's behavior is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The biting, the spitting, it is a repeated incident, and he should serve his bans. He gets his bans, and he serves them. And I guess every couple years he comes back, and they give him like a 5-match or 8-match, and, he gets his bans. And they're never reduced, if you know what I'm saying, but it's unacceptable behavior. And like I'm saying, just like Suarez got his ban, are you saying that, Cristiano Ronaldo's ban is because he didn't bite, that the elbow to the face is less, it's more okay? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't agree with that. But I agree with what you're saying with Luis Suarez, and he got his bans. And every time he does something, they give him a ban. And I do agree that, players like that with repeated behavior should get harsher bans. Pogba got banned for 4 years, which was reduced for doping. And it wasn't even his fault. He was fooled. And they reduced the ban. I can understand that. There's some precedents there, but there are different criteria where, he was not aware of what he was doing. And he got banned. So, that's interesting. So there's a lot of comments here, and I wouldn't go too much along. So Roblox Gamer, Messi also learned alone from his teacher Ronaldinho in his early days. That's true. That's his hero. I heard England might get a group of death in the World Cup. So folks, before I go, let me know your thoughts on this Cristiano Ronaldo thing. What do you think? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's not fair? And also, I'm thinking about doing a watch along for the World Cup draw. I will do a reaction, but let me know if you think I should do that. The live streams I've been doing great. I am doing weekly EXTV episodes now because I have the technology to do it now. Usually I do a couple episodes, but I just had to talk about this. It was a hastily put together stream. I know there's a lot of Champions League talk. We could talk about that as well. I've been also doing watch alongs to certain games. I'm an Inter Milan fan. I'll be doing that. But I'll be talking about the World Cup draw reaction, which I will probably do a watch along for that. If you guys want to jump in and do that, we can. I have to find out what time it is. Let me know what you think about the Cristiano Ronaldo ban. The SSFL football, I think today was the final match day. I think Naparima boys ended up on top of the table. I have the scores below here as well. All my data is verified from SofaScore as well. There's a lot of content, folks, and there's a lot of unique content. I'm going to be doing a lot of gaming streaming and giveaways. I'll be getting some Argentina gear soon, so I'll be doing some giveaways for that. And I'll be doing some giveaways for the World Cup. And it's not just Argentina jerseys, but the jersey of your choice. So, there's a lot of reasons to like, subscribe, share, and all these things. So, folks, if you're in the stream right now, be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow all the socials, and continue to support Extra Time TV. So, folks, we're going to end things off with reading the last couple of comments here. So, Roblox, yes, it's fair called on Cristiano Ronaldo. Romario saying Naps won. Roz, and we need to talk about TNT World Cup coming soon. Yes. That will be on the next episode of EXTV Live. Like I said, this was a quick fire breaking news reaction. Breaking news. I never thought I would do that. But I'm doing it now. Romario, congratulations. Congratulations to Naparima boys. Great. Kudos to them. Folks, I used to do a lot of high school content, and I will do it maybe from next year. I'll resume. I'm putting together a super team of Avengers for EXTV. Because I can't be everywhere at once. Even these live streams. I have a massive shoulder injury, folks. You can't see it, but I have an injury, and I'm doing this with one arm controlling the entire stream. So I'll be doing a lot of content. I used to do it in the past. And, you know, obviously previews and then the women's football. For those of you who don't know, I worked with the women's team in 2021, 2022. I was the analyst and media officer with Kenwin Jones, and we had a great time. You know, I couldn't really vlog it for legal reasons. But, you know, I do have some photos which I'll probably put up on social media so you all could check it out. So, you know, I've worked with the women's team, and I definitely have a lot of love for them. And, you know, there's a lot of drama with them. So Romario Andre, I was real planning to go to the World Cup to watch TNT. But yeah, a lot of people did, folks. We did have a reaction to the Trinidad and Tobago thing on our last episode of EXTV Live, so you can head back on the EXTV. You know, we have Kenwin Jones, Shaka Hislop, a lot of people on the show. We had Lance Whitaker from Sportsmax. A lot of people giving their thoughts on what went wrong with Trinidad and Tobago. And I will have a section on the next EXTV Live where we talk about that. And folks, like I said, and I mentioned in all the other EXTV videos, when we do this, you guys have a chance to choose the topics. It's fully interactive. No other station does that. We do this here. And we have a lot of cool feedback. We'll be doing a lot of watch-alongs and video games and, you know, esports, EAFC. I'm going to do a video with all the Trinidad and Tobago players in EAFC, which will pop up on our social media soon. And things like that. So, like I said, continue to like, subscribe, share, follow us on our socials, and continue to suggest, give your thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Because we do listen. We do listen. And, you know, we're heading into the World Cup. It's very soon. I may or may not go. I'm working on that right now. And so we'll see about that. So I'm going to wrap things up. The TTFA should fire that entire TTFA board, no coach. Yes, Romario, we'll definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that. So if anybody else has any opinions about the Cristiano Ronaldo thing, drop it in the comment section below. Be sure to check out that. And also, I want to say a special congratulations to Mark the Shark, a.k.a. Mark Molino, for winning the jersey, folks. You could check out, we did a nice video with him on social media on the YouTube Shorts. We had a quick chat with him. Also on, you know, you could tell him congrats. He's a loyal supporter, like many of you. And, you know, just to verify that we're legit. And we do giveaways. And not just Trinidad and Tobago jerseys. And I don't know why I did my voice like that. So, Rod's BBC article was written arguing over past players who are allowed to play at past World Cups even though they deserve to miss at least an opening match. Yes, like Rods, this opens a whole can of worms. A whole can of worms about who gets to go and who doesn't get to go and how do you choose. It's a very slippery slope that they've started. So now, which, you know, to be fair, this is FIFA's MO. You know, they pretty much do whatever they want. And, you know, a narrative has been pushed. You know, the last World Cup was rigged, and Ronaldo in a lot of his videos has been talking about, he does the whole victim thing in the PS Morgan. This is not me, this is a video. So I think it's ridiculous. Are FIFA now going to probably pass a new rule where when you're heading into the World Cup, are all your suspensions wiped? Because now they're going to have to consider that. They're going to have to consider that now. And if they don't consider it, then they're going to say, okay, well, it just feeds the fuel of the Cristiano Ronaldo favoritism in this particular case. And like I said, even if it was Messi, I would have said the same thing. It would have been ridiculous. So, folks, like I said, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Continue to support Extra Time TV. Like I said, this was supposed to be a 20-minute video, but we always go to about 40 minutes. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. We have lots of giveaways, and also EXTV has our merch store. Scan the QR code. It is delivered anywhere on the planet, so have no fear. It will be delivered to you. Order those jerseys and, you know, continue to support the channel. We have membership options with special content and so on now. And the channel has grown significantly in the last couple of months. And it's all thanks to you all. So I know not everybody's going to do this live stream right now because it wasn't planned. But everybody who's joining in, be sure to do that. Continue to like, subscribe, share, and support EXTV. So with that being said, folks, I'll end this. Let me know your thoughts. Stay tuned for the next EXTV episode, which will be coming up soon. And it will be in the same format on the YouTube channel. And we'll continue to give you all what you all want. So, folks, this is Andre Soklal of EXTV. And I will see you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Extra Time TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.